Hello, welcome to the Lululoves Crochet Podcast, episode 30. My name is Emma and this is my podcast all about crochet and crafts and books and anything else I fancy talking about. How are you all? I hope everyone's doing well. We're okay, we're kind of settling into the new normal, I suppose, a bit, but some days are harder than others and we're just sort of taking it one day at a time. So that seems to be working for us. If I think too far ahead, my mind gets overwhelmed. And I still don't have, seem to have a lot of time to crochet really, or maybe it's that I've just not been in my most creative space, I think. But I do have a few things to share with you, so I will share I'll share those with you. I'm just going to get started, otherwise I will babble on. The first thing I've brought up to show you is that the basket that I was making with the paint box recycled t-shirt yarn. I think I showed it probably a couple of times now, and it's taken me, longer to finish. I don't know why it's quite a quick project, but it has. So there's the finished basket. It is circular, but I've got bits in it, so probably not going to be able to show you that very well. Anyway, I'm really pleased with how that's come out. I've loved using that yarn. I've just been using that with a 7mm. I made the medium size. It's a free pattern on the Love Crafts website. I'll link everything in the show notes, which will be on the blog. And they sent me 3 of the these big recycled cakes of beautiful pink yarn there, recycled t-shirt, and that's what I've got left. And I've got one other as well, so I made the medium, so you would only need 2 for the medium size, and I've still got quite a bit left over, so I might look at doing some other projects with that, maybe something to hang. I feel like you get quite a lot of yarn for your money. So yeah, I'm pleased to have that done. Actually, Lulu's had her eye on that. I was thinking I could fill that with yarn and leave it in here. That's really pretty, but Lulu quite like that, so I might put that in her bedroom for her. So yes, finally finished that. That's been ongoing for probably about 4 weeks now, longer than that. It should not have taken me that long, but it has. But it's finished. I'm really happy because I will use that. It's always nice when you make something useful as opposed to just pretty, because you feel justified. And the next project I finished, and this one has been out already for, if you follow me on Instagram, I did launch it about 2 weeks ago, and I wrote it as a pattern. It's a 5-page PDF. This is called my Solstice Bunting, and I was so happy with the way this came out. Really inspired by the sun, the sunsets, and I've created this sort of semicircular bunting with a really sort of fun bobble edging. And of course, I have made mine in cream because that is what I like. But I have seen so many strings of this bunting being made over on Instagram with the most beautiful. Some people have done rainbow shades, so every sort of flag is different. I've seen ombre bunting. So if you would like to make this, this will actually be a paid for pattern. At the moment, it's the PDF is free to download on Ravelry and Love Crafts. So I will put all the links in the show notes. The PDF has got the written pattern. It's written in UK terms. It also has a chart and 2 pages of photo tutorial for you. So if you would like to get your hands on that, just pop along and download it. It's going to be, originally I planned to put it up free for 2 weeks. However, since lockdown seems to be extending and I feel like we're all in need of bunting, or for me, definitely smaller projects that, you know, don't take up a lot of my time, but actually when they're finished, you know, this in the garden, beautiful. And actually, since I finished it, both Lulu and Kyra, my eldest, have asked for bunting for the bedroom. So I've started another set for myself in some colours. So this one's I'm going to give this one to Kyra. It's her birthday soon, so, and then I'm going to make some more in cream for the garden. But I'm so pleased. You know, sometimes you have an idea for a pattern and everything goes perfectly. Everything from start to finish ends up looking exactly how you wanted. Well, this is this. This is, I mean, the only thing I would say about it is when you make the flags, they do tend to sort of curl up a little bit like this because they've got these extra baubles here. I did do that deliberately because I wanted them to sort of hang alongside the string. So don't worry if you're making it and they sort of look a bit like that. When you, you know, join them, they tend to straighten out. They do with the cotton yarn. I mean, I haven't made this with acrylic, but they do with cotton yarn. And, you know, if not, you can always just give them a light blocking so they sit how you want. So, yeah, if you do make it and you think your things are curling up a bit, because it's just over with those extra bobbles, it's just over a half a circle. But like I said, they seem to flatten out quite nicely when they're joined, and you know, the weight. So yes, I've done that, and I'm really happy. I'll just show you one more time because, you know, this is all the content we've got today. It's just bunting. Bunting, some books, and a little bit of yarn. That's a lie, I do have another project. So I'll have a look back in the basket and see what I brought up. So I'm also making up some in that lovely, I did show it in another podcast, some yarn I bought from Hedgerow Yarns. And I used some, oh actually I forgot to bring that in. I must go and get that. I'll pause the camera in a minute and go and get that. I used some in my cushion. I was doing a cushion cover for the Cozy Crochet Blankets book tour. So I did use some of it in that because it worked really well. And so I don't quite have 100 grams left anymore. So although this pattern does call for, I think, 100 grams, I feel like I'm either going to have enough or I might just pop another colour in. But I'm making some up in this lovely fiery colour. And I really love the way they're turning out. And I love about this hand-dyed yarn, I think this is Hedgerow Fibres, I think I've said that, is just every pendant is slightly different. I feel like when you do use this sort of yarn, you probably don't see the pattern as well as if you use a solid colour, but the, you know, the effect of those colours, it just makes a different kind of bunting. And I feel like, you know, that's also going to look really pretty. So I'm doing that. I've got four because I've got one on my hook. I've got 3 of those. I think the bunting calls for 8 flags, so I may pop in another colour or keep going with that. I'll see. I think maybe another colour might be nice. Might bring that out. So that's what I'm working on. I'm just going to stop the camera and go and get that project to show you. It won't be a minute. Right. So I was making a project for the book tour for the Cozy Crochet Blankets by Anna Moray Soares, which is this one. It's one of the ones by Tuva, who are also publishing my book, which has got very behind. I have actually just edited the first proof, so it is moving forward just very slowly at the moment. That's to be expected. So this is the cushion cover that I created using, I can't remember the name of the pattern now. Yeah, I think I did talk over this in the last episode. I sometimes feel I'm just repeating myself because, like I said, I haven't really moved on with a lot of projects. It's Painting the Woods. It was the one that looked like this. All the blankets in here are beautiful, but this is my take on the Painting the Woods. And as you can see, I have used some of those lovely hedgerow yarns. I've got that one there, and then this one, which was the Poldark inspired one, wasn't it? I can't remember the name. I'll put all the links. And then I've just used, I think, I showed the yarns in the other podcast. The cream was a wool mix, and then I just used some pink and grey that I had already in my stash. So I'm really, really happy with the way that came out, actually. I'll put some photos in the blog post if you want to have a closer look. Yeah, I really like the combination. I'm not going for a blanket. I don't have time to make one, and I'm not... If I was going to make another blanket now, I'd probably pick something like a granny square, to be honest with you, just because I do really need that sort of repetitive where I don't have to think about anything in the evening. But I do love it, and I will make a back for it and make it into a cushion. I'll pop that somewhere in the house. But yeah, so I was really pleased, and there were some really lovely patterns and projects that were made on that book tour. So I'll put all the details, like I said, in the blog post, and then maybe you can have a look over on Instagram and see some of the other items that were made. So that was that. And then what else? So that's the basket bunting, that, and one more project. And this was a really quick one, really beautiful one. And they are coasters, little crochet coasters that I spotted on Instagram by, they were put up by Sisters in a Stitch, I think, which is partly ran by Crocheted by Tess. I think that's her Instagram name. It's Tess anyway, I know that. Anyway, it's a free pattern for these lovely, I think they're called Pop Around the, what are they called? I've written it down here. Pop Around the Plate coasters, there we go. No ends sewn in, you know. This yarn is beautiful. I was really excited to try this. This is a Stylecraft yarn, and it's called Moonbeam. And I bought it a while ago. Here we are, I've got the ball band. It's lovely. It's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got like a shimmery yarn running through it. Oh, I really, really love that. You know, anything with a bit of sparkle, but this is nice and easy to work with. I suppose it's a yarn that was probably made for making pretty tops or something like that, but you know. So it's called Moonbeam by Stylecraft. I'm pretty sure they're still up for sale, but it's 79% cotton, 21% viscose. 4.5mm. It says it's a DK weight. It's really pretty. Anyway, they had a couple of shades, and this is shade 3958. So that was the first coaster I made, and I was hoping to get 2 out of the 100 grams, but I was not that lucky. This is the second one, so I did not even get all the way around the second row of popcorn stitches. So I'll probably unwind this and use it for another project. There's not really much I can do about that. I mean, popcorn stitches are notorious yarn eaters, aren't they? So I just really love that. I love the pattern. I love that, you know, when it's sat down, you can place your cup there and you've got all these lovely bobbles. Well, they're popcorns around. And that yarn is just stunning. And then because I felt sad that I only had one, I made another one. And this one I made in Shipier's Calista. It's the one that's closer to Aran weight. So this one was bigger, so I did actually deliberately stop at 2 rows of popcorn on this one. And then I also was working some of that pretty gold thread through it. You can just see it in the ends there, so there. I was working that alongside it. So I've got another sort of sparkly one, not quite the same effect, but I was really pleased with that one as well. Although I think, well, they're the same size. They've come out the same size, but obviously one's got 2 rows of popcorn and one's got 3. I do prefer it in the DK weight, but they're both really cute. So really, really happy with those. I'm definitely going to make some more. I think I'll make a set of 4, but I think I might try and order some more of the this yarn. So maybe I'll leave this one for now. So yes, that was it. So that's a free download on Ravelry. So again, I will link that and pop some pictures in the blog post for you to have another look at. Yes, so that's what I've been up to. I don't have any new things to show you. I'm going to show you this though, because both the girls have been crocheting. Kyra has come up with so many ideas, and so she's been learning how to crochet in rounds, because there was something she wanted to make. Well, not she was sort of designing, really. She's a bit like me. She's all ideas, not so much action. And then Lulu, bless her, has also caught a bug. I did teach Lulu. She was working chains. She'd been working chains for over a year now. Whenever she wants to do a bit of crochet, she just picks it up and does some chaining. So she also wanted to have a go at making something. She really wanted to make a granny square blanket. So I have started her off. I'm going to have to teach her quickly, I think, how to weave in her ends, because she did ask me the other day if she could just snip them. I was like, no, don't snip them. So I can see that they're annoying her, and I ought to get her to sew them in before she does snip them. Anyway, look, she's making her very first crochet blanket. Bless her. And I am teaching her how to work a reversible granny square. I just find them easier. I feel like they look better. I feel like when you're learning and you're struggling a bit with your tension, they're very forgiving, because you don't get that pull. And actually you can see that she has, I mean, it's a small square, so we'll see, won't we? But so she's working it in Aran weight, and she is using a 5.5mm hook, just a metal one. Again, I think I like these as well for beginners, because you can really push the hook in. And she picked 3 colours. She just came up and she picked 3 colours that she liked. The pink is a paint box Aran. The cream is a I don't know, actually, I'll link it. And this is one of these stone washed yarns from Shipier's. That's something that I had left over from the book, so I might have to buy her another one of those, because I don't think that will last very long once she starts going. But yeah, so she's just going to repeat those 3 colours, I think. And she's so sweet. She just sits down of an evening and she just does a little bit of a round. It's taking her a bit longer now, but she does, and then she always comes to me when she wants to move up, you know, or change a colour. But it's really interesting how she's learnt to crochet, because I was a bit lazy. I did teach her, but I did say, you know, I was busy, and I said, look, you know, I'll pop on a video for you on YouTube, and then you can stop and start and stop and start. And I was sat next to her. I was working. I was sat next to her, and no, let me show you. So I just stopped and just, you know, really spent some time with her and made sure she had it. So now she just goes off and does it on her own. And actually what Kyra did was she filmed me, you know, working the stitches, so then she could replay them when she wanted to. So, but yeah, what I was going to say is, so it's really interesting watching Lulu crochet, because I crochet like this, like I've got, you know, knife, and Lulu crochets like this, like a pen. So I'm watching her crochet and she's sort of going into her work like this. So I don't know, you know, that's not something she's picked up from me. So I think that's really interesting how that's just a natural, you know, and also my eldest daughter, Kyra, she's left-handed. And so that was always really tricky for me when she was younger and she wanted to learn. But she has, like most things, adapted, and she chose to learn right-handed. So she crochets with her right hand, even though she's left-handed. She also did it when she learnt to play the guitar when she was younger. She learnt right-handed. She said she just felt like it was easier because there was, you know, more out there. I don't think that's necessarily true with crochet so much anymore. I think a lot of the big crochet designers that do tutorials do both left and right-handed ones now, but I can see how she might have felt that way, especially, you know, I was teaching her and I'm right-handed, and I cannot for the life of me use my left hand. You know, I couldn't even begin to sort of. So yeah, so they've both been really busy with their little projects in the evening, and Lulu said she finds it really relaxing just to sit there and do a little bit at night, and I'm really pleased. She's really excited now she can see her blanket starting to grow, so that's so lovely. That they're both, you know, taken that up. And that is it for crochet. I will show you one thing that I've got. I'm sorry, the sun's going in and out. My lovely friend over on Instagram, Claire, I've been following her for years now. She started up a little business called Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit Hand-Dyed Yarns. There's her card, look, and she asked if she could send me some yarns for my scrappy blanket, which, as you know, I've been collecting minis. Well, I haven't collected very many recently, so she asked if she could send me a set of minis to go in my blanket, which I just thought was so incredibly sweet of her, really. And you know, we've been following each other for a long time, so of course I didn't mind at all. Oh, I didn't mind at all. I was just really grateful, but you know what I mean. And she sent it over, and there's her business card. I just think that's adorable. And she sent over, this arrived just after Easter as well, so lots of little Easter treats. There's a little bunny stitch marker there. I'm not doing a very good job of showing him, he's twisted over. I'll put all the details in the blog post. And then she sent a lovely handwritten note. I'm sorry, I am an absolute sucker for handwritten notes. I think I always will be, and cards, and I love to keep all those. A little lavender sachet, and again, I absolutely adore lavender. And then two of these, and I've been keeping these to show you on the podcast, so I've had them up here for a little while. Lemon, ginger and Manuka honey. I do drink lemon and ginger tea regularly, so I've not tried this brand, but I know that I'll enjoy that. But I was really interested by this one. It's called by the Pucker brand. It's Womankind, a delicate dance of organic cranberry, rose and sweet vanilla. And I also really love rose. I love rose scent. I love rose flavour, and I do really like rose in tea. So this is the one I'm excited to try. So after I finish this, I'm going to drink this while I edit this this vlog. And these are the yarns. And oh, look at the colours already. Aren't they beautiful? Isn't that the prettiest? The very spring. And what I really like about this is I'm going to pop these in my blanket. I mean, I'm making up all the squares first before I join them. And every time now I look at that blanket, I'm going to remember that these were my Easter skeins sent by my lovely friend. So I just think that's really adorable. So this was her Easter collection. I don't know if you can still get these. Like I said, probably a bit late putting this up. They're 80% wool, 20% nylon, 5 times 20 grams of Poldale. beautiful, really, really lovely. So they're going to look so pretty in my blanket, aren't they? So I'm going to I can wind those up now. I wanted to show you first. I love that one, look. And this one as well, I really like this colour. So thank you, Claire. I've already thanked her. I'm so incredibly grateful to have friends that are so thoughtful. So, and that is everything then, really. So I will just quickly talk through some of the books I'm reading, because I don't know what time we're on actually, because I've stopped this a couple of times now. I started reading Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Another thing that's sort of taken a backseat is my reading. I feel like I've nearly finished this, but normally I would have read that in a week. Yes, I've definitely slowed down on my reading. I think my ability to focus, to be honest with you, is sort of suffering at the moment. But this is a really, really beautiful book. I can see that I will recommend this to everyone I come across online. Obviously, not coming across many people in real life at the moment. This is about a girl that grows up in the marshes. She's sort of been forgotten. It's really, really tragic to start with. She basically gets abandoned by her mum and then later on her dad. So from about the age of 10, she's living in the marsh and she's got to find a way to survive. Yeah, it's really fascinating the way she finds to raise money, just to feed herself really, and how she grows up really without with very little human contact. So and then as she gets older, she becomes a very beautiful woman, and she's obviously quite naive. And two different men come into her life at different times. One of them, I think she's about 13, maybe even younger. He teaches her to read, and she's very intelligent. And then another one a bit later on. But the book starts, it's also a murder mystery. So the book starts with the discovery of a body, a male body, and it's sort of the police investigation is sort of weaving through this. So it does flick forward and back in time, but it's beautifully written. It's so evocative. I'm really enjoying it. I'll be sad to finish it, so I'm really, really enjoying that. Alongside that, I am reading Portraying Pregnancy. This is a book that I bought from the Foundling, well, I bought it via the Foundling Museum, their website. We were supposed to go, my daughter and I were supposed to go to London before all this started and visit the exhibition. Just how pregnancy has been portrayed really over the years in art. It starts off, talking about the early images of pregnancy, which mostly are religious, all the way through, something from every century to today really. You've got the Demi Moore, a Vanity Fair image. I do remember that actually. And Beyonce, it's really, really interesting. It's From Holbein to Social Media, Portraying Pregnancy by Karen Hearn. Now, I did buy this through the Foundling Museum's website. There was a link to the publisher, so I bought it through the publisher. If you go via the Foundling Museum, they give you a code to put in, and it means that they still get the money as if it was sold in the gift shop, if that makes sense. So it's just one way to support, because I would have bought it at the gift shop anyway, probably. So I'm really enjoying that. And the other one is Ashcombe, The Story of a 15-Year Lease by Cecile Beaton. This was a book that I bought on eBay. This is the house that he rented for 15 years, from 1930 to 1945. And it's a house on the Wiltshire-Dorset border, which is partly why I'm interested, but also, you know, I feel like they had a very, before the war, this sort of very eccentric artist kind of artistic way of life, which I'm really interested in. And he kept diaries of his time there. And I think he was really sad to actually leave the property in the end, but he really renovated it and, you know, modernised it. And yeah, eventually the owner wanted it back. They wouldn't renew his lease. So he does write about it very fondly. And this book was written, I think, in the 40s. So first edition was published in 1949. This is an edition from the 90s, 1999. It's a reprint. But the photos are lovely, and you know, just hearing him like talk about all the different artists. You've got John Betjeman, lots of famous people there really, who came and visited and you know, spent their weekends and their summer there. It's just a different way of life really, and I feel like yeah, I'm quite happy to read some escapism, I think. So started that, really enjoying that as well. So I think you can tell when I start to read non-fiction that my mind is just not very creative. It's like my imagination is being sapped. But I am enjoying all three of those books. And that's about it really. On TV we have been watching, we watched The Nest. I can't remember if that was ITV or BBC. I think it might have been on the BBC, which was about a young couple living in Glasgow. They'd been a really wealthy couple, really successful wealthy couple. They'd been trying for a baby unsuccessfully for a number of years. And this young girl, I think she's 18, comes into their life really unexpectedly and basically offers to be their surrogate. And, you know, for money, which is not legal over here. I think you're allowed to claim for expenses. And she's very young, and they're sort of advised to wait a while, but they go ahead anyway. It's really about, you know, the consequences of buying what you want. If you're rich enough to buy what you want without any thought, or it's about trust and love. Just a minute, the camera's flashing. Yes, where was I? Trust, love. I think they described it as an emotional thriller. It was really good. It was a little bit slow to get into, but really, really good and just really interesting in the end. You know, I really liked it. Anyway, I won't spoil it for you. And then the other one we've been watching is Normal People. And that's the TV adaptation of the Sally Rooney book that I spoke about in the podcast a little while back. We're only 3 episodes in because we're finding it hard to find the time. Cara and I are finding it hard to find the time to watch it. My husband doesn't want to watch it. It's too grown up for Lulu. So, but we're 3 episodes in and we're really enjoying that. So I need to finish that because everyone that I've spoke to that's finished it's really loved it. So yeah, I'll be interested to see. I think I do feel like the first 2 episodes were a bit slow, if I'm honest, and it didn't push me. But then the book, I found the book to be very like that. I found the book that like kind of very slow going, nothing much happens. It's more about the development of their relationship, which, you know, ends up being, yeah, a sort of beautiful story really, I suppose, a kind of beautifully realistic story. And I did feel like the first 2 episodes were a bit like that, just a bit kind of, you know. But we're enjoying it, and we're gonna carry on because we've heard such good things about it. And that's it really. I think that's everything I've got to say for this week. Oh, I did also film a little video with some other crochet designers, crocheters over on Instagram. It was on Sweet Shana's, she organised it, lovely Shana. I think it's on her Instagram. I'll try and link it. It was a pass the yarn kind of, you know, one of those sort of TikTok videos. And that was really fun. You know, we all just filmed our little segments and then Shana put them all together to make this video. I'll link her Instagram account and I think it's on there. It's as an IGTV video over there, I think. So yeah, I did that, and that was really good fun actually. And I really loved watching the video. So, and I think that's it really. So I will be back as soon as I can. As soon as I've got enough things to talk about, I will pop back. But I really hope you're all well. And I will see you again soon. Take care.